life for me could take a shower, cause I really think, but nah, I think I'd rather drink. I get off on pushing my luck, and I'm much better off when I'm totally drunk. I know one of these days my time will come, but until that, they give me a bottle of rum. Wake up at 2 or maybe 3 dubs every day is the life for me. Could get a job cause I need the cash, but nah, I think I'd rather sit on my ass. I get off on pushing my luck, and I'm much better off when I'm totally drunk.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 2nd Street Marvel for a special edition of the Trailer Park Live. I hope you're all having a good weekend today. As you all can see, I'm kind of harnessing the clickbait video lifestyle there with that title. It's just I'm like, you know what? I need to do something to get some views, and I don't know. Was that a desperate attempt? I don't know. I guess it could be worse than Avengers Endgame trailer date confirmed and not giving you any confirmed dates. But this does have to do with Dave Bautista and the man baby he was being, and how he got his way now. The one thing I do have to say is that's kind of what I want to talk about here. It was something I was kind of talking about a little bit yesterday on my show last night. Welcome to everyone watching Nerdy Blurb TV. What's up, man? How you doing, Ryan? I hope you're doing good. The title is perfect. Yes, thank you. Now the reason I titled that is because, you know, it's kind of encompassing a lot of things, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. I was thinking about the James Gunn thing. I'm not sure if you guys watched the Stuff of Legend. He even did a video, was it yesterday, about James Gunn being rehired. A lot of people doing stories about James Gunn being rehired as the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, and believe me when I say I think this is a good thing. I'm all for it. I like the movies that he did. It would be hard for anybody else to come in and do the same thing. It would be a different movie, guaranteed it's going to be a different movie if we got a different director. But and probably a different tone. Just everything would be different, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, and I'm not sure how I feel about him coming back neither. While I think it's a good thing, there's also a lot of other things that I really have to say about this. And if you have any feelings about this topic or anything else I'm going to be covering, please leave a comment down below. As you know, it's really fun doing these videos live as you get a little more interaction. I'm sure it's funner for me as it is for you all. Now the thing is James Gunn was rehired. Okay, now in case none of you all remember, I'm sure if you're on my channel, you probably do remember that James Gunn was fired last year from Disney after some old tweets that he had made had resurfaced, and people started making a big deal about it. Now this is nothing. This is something I guess relatively new in society with social media and things. You know, it's so much more easy for people to let their voice be heard, and then and then obviously companies and things like that react to it. And while I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, it's certainly not a bad thing, because people should be able to voice their opinions and have them be heard. And especially for a big company like Walt Disney and just Disney in general, Marvel Studios, and just everything, people should be allowed to voice their opinions and have them at the least acknowledged by these companies. Okay, and that's just kind of the topic that I want to get into today here on this show. And Dave Bautista, if you ever hear about this or anybody wants to attack me about that title, Dave Bautista was acting like a man baby about this, and I do get it. I'm not saying that he was wrong, and I'm not saying that he was right, but if I walked into my place of employment, well, I'm self-employed now, but when I had a regular job and I had a boss and I had an employer, if I walked in to my employer and said, you know what, you guys are a bunch of assholes, F you, I'm out. You know what, they're probably not going to be happy with me, and they're going to, they may not want to hire me back, So, you know, and that's kind of what it is. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the way he felt, go ahead and feel that way. But you know what? It's the same thing that's wrong with a lot of these same things with people voicing their opinions and companies reacting to it just immediately, the knee jerk reactions. Um Now the thing is running on emotions. So many people run on emotions these days, and you know, and that's just fine. You know, I mean, emotions can drive you. I mean, it's not having emotions and having feelings about things isn't a bad thing, and you should express them if you feel that way. I mean, if voice your opinions, whatever. But the thing is I mean, you don't want to run on emotions when you're doing these kinds of things. I mean, heck, I've been there, I've done it, but you know, at the same time, like there's a difference between when I was in this situation. I got lucky and I wasn't around a bunch of people who have knee jerk reactions, like Walt Disney Studios did with when they fired James Gunn. Now, I'm not defending James Gunn in any way with his tweets. What is it? You know, he probably thought he was being a funny guy. And if you know James Gunn's background, this a lot of this stuff shouldn't really come as a whole lot of surprise. So now the thing is and Disney as a whole has kind of just had a few missteps lately anyway, along with as like going like with knee jerk reactions to things. Like I said, that's one thing I'm absolutely tired of in our society right now is all the knee jerk reactions to everything. Okay, it just needs to stop. Like I get it if you're upset, I get it if you're discontent, but there's a difference between voicing that and just having an outright knee jerk reaction. Just like the whole Brie Larson thing with her comments. Look at the context. Hear what she said. Go to the actual source and see what was said. You're sitting here running on emotions because you read a certain article from a certain person that sees a certain point of view, and you just ran with that. Okay, like I'm not excusing her remarks neither. Okay, because when it comes down to it, did she say that? Yeah, she said that. Was it taken out of context? Yes. Okay. Now, and I've voiced my opinions about the same thing before. As you know what, when it comes down to the whole, you know, she was talking about people that were interviewing her. Okay, she was giving somebody like in a minority in this industry an opportunity for them that wouldn't normally be there for them, and that's cool. That's great. Now the thing is, the reason why I get because the same people ask the same boring questions every single time, you know, and you know it gets kind of boring because then what do you get? You get the actor who's just sitting there giving the automated response. You know, like who wants that? That's not enjoyable. That's not enjoyable. And I see we've got a few viewers, so I want to get to a few things before I really get too far into this rant. Nerdy Blurb. Welcome, man. Chillmonger, welcome. Not a fan of Gunn and his work. I think there are so many others that could make a great Guardians of the Galaxy. Gunn is a victim and overrated. Yes, yes on all of that. He is a victim. Is he overrated? I'd say he's overrated. Definitely overrated. But and that's fine. It just kind of depends on who you ask. Because like me, I'm not a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy films in the first place. Like I like them. Don't get me wrong. I do like them. They're good movies. They're entertaining and all that stuff. I mean, just like everything about them. I mean, they're good, but they're not amongst my favorite of the Guardians of the Galaxy or of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But I mean, they're good. Like I said, they're not my favorites. There's plenty of movies that I put before the Guardians of the Galaxy, but. Yeah, and I do think there's plenty of other directors out there who could make a good Guardians of the Galaxy film. Now, Gunn was a victim. He was a victim of this knee jerk society that we got, this knee jerk just reaction that we got going on in society today, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We see it in every facet of our social media culture. I can't say Bautista's a man baby if he was right. James Gunn is back. Okay, now, and again, I don't think he's a man baby because I'm not saying that he was wrong, but the way he reacted was wrong. Like I was saying earlier, when I had an employer, if I walked into their office and threw a big old fit and told them to F off and everything and just walked out, you know what? They're probably not going to want to hire me back if, later I'm sitting there going, oh man, I'm sorry, most times they're not. So And like I said, that was just the man baby part. That was just part of my clickbait title to get you here watching. I know that's what got you here, Chillmonger. Come on, it was. It was. No, but like I said, I just put that in there for the title, man. No, he wasn't wrong, but I think the way he went about it was wrong, just the same way as Disney went about it was wrong. But Disney has had these missteps already in the first place. They fired Phil Lord and Chris Miller from the Solo movie. I want to see that movie. Okay, I want to see that movie. We'll never see it. But I want to see that movie. And it was out of a knee-jerk reaction, as far as I knew, because they were getting complaints from different people that were involved in making the film, and I'm like, did you not just firing them outright and you just hiring Ron Howard? We'll get Ron Howard will fix it all. Okay, like Ron Howard's a good director, but that he's not God. You know what I mean? So they had a knee-jerk reaction. They went ahead and just fired him. They should have, which ended up probably costing more money in the long run. They should have allowed Phil Lord and Chris Miller to make the movie they were making, and in the end, cut their losses, if it was a flop. I do not think it would have been a flop. Look at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. While, this wasn't like some earth-shattering movie, it's a praised movie. Everybody likes this movie. Now, think of a lot of the things in that movie have to do with Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the way they write, they're good producers, they're good directors. I mean, Phil Lord and Chris Miller know what they're doing. So, like I said, I think it was just stupid of Disney to fire them. Again, a knee-jerk reaction. The same as it was with James Gunn. And now, the thing is like I said, is the studio's at fault here. This is all Disney's fault, okay? They had to do something, though, okay? They did have to do something, but it didn't have to be a knee-jerk reaction. They could have just put out some of the fire and just said, you know what, right now, we're putting Guardians of the Galaxy on hold. We're gonna see what the future holds for this film, for us, with this director and the cast, just the whole thing. They should have just put it on hold, if you ask me. And instead of and letting everything die down, instead they go with the knee-jerk reaction, the same thing that Dave Bautista does to what they do, the knee-jerk reaction. So now, basically you got the plane and the boat, just going like this, and that doesn't do anybody any good. And the only thing is, like I said, in the end, you end up feeling like an ass. Disney, I can't remember the guy's name who made the decision ultimately to bring James Gunn back, and I'm sure Kevin Feige was probably there saying, "Dude, we've got to bring this guy back. Seriously." I mean, he's got to feel like an ass, but you know what? Even on the John Campea show they were talking about it, he owned up to the decision, and he stuck his foot in his mouth or whatever, and he went with it. Cool, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him not doing it. But I'm more upset in the first place about the knee-jerk reaction that they had. And that is the whole problem with everything we've got going on in our society. It happened with the Captain Marvel movie. And then, ultimately we get people just riding the wave. Like I was talking about this last night. People riding the wave. People rode the wave of Captain Marvel and Brie Larson and all the hate. Search through YouTube and look at all the videos, and they're just riding the wave of hate for Captain Marvel and Brie Larson because some comments that she made that were taken out of context. I'm not saying she didn't say them, and I'm not defending her. People have their full rights, all that. Okay, it's all good. But look. Go click on all these videos. People just riding the wave. Come on, man. Can't you be more inventive? Can't you give us something a little more? Just like some of the videos I watch on here on YouTube as well. And like I said, I can't really say nothing because I watch the videos, but like I said, you get all these people, riding this wave, okay? Just riding this wave but the thing is some of these people aren't even riding the wave on their surfboard. They're riding the wave on somebody else's surfboard that they took and they looked at and they said, "Hey, I'm going to ride this board." And you're on it. It's your board, but I'm coming with you, okay? I'm going to use your board and we're going to ride this wave. I don't know, it just cracks me up. Like I said, here on my channel, I like to talk about and present my own theories. And if, obviously, like I said, when I'm presenting theories, a lot of the obvious stuff, I don't really point out because most of us can see the most obvious things. But like I said, knee-jerk reactions, it has a sick side effect. I'm going to get to some more comments here. But it has a sick side effect on our society. And kind of what happened, the backstepping here with James Gunn, it also has some repercussions, some other repercussions I want to get into as well. Um, I don't think he was right though. Yeah, he wasn't completely right. The knee-jerk reaction to something from 10 years ago is inexcusable. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Disney is a family company though. That's true. That's true. I do get that, and they are a publicly traded company. I mean, you got to think of your investors. Can't taint a legacy like that unless pandering to the audience is the answer. Well, that's kind of what they did too, is pandering. It's pandering either way. That's why I said I think they should have just stepped back for a minute and see just feel get a little more feel for the territory, because you know social media is starting to affect our society in a whole new way. It's opening up doors to just like a whole bunch of different things. Like I was saying, it's both good and bad. And it's good when we get good things out of it. It's bad when people have knee jerk reactions and dumb things happen, and we've got to backpedal like what Disney is going through right now. Um, okay, Chillmonger. Okay, yes. Man, we're having a good discussion here in the comments. They didn't stand for family values if they brought him back. Oh, agreed. Agreed. And that's why I said they should have just stepped back in the first place. They stand for public perception and sabotaging. Okay. um, I agree with that for sure. Pandering and putting competition down. I have a feeling DC will fight for Gunn. I don't think this is over. Well, yeah, and I think James Gunn is going to be making films for both. And who's to say that it's so funny we get into this because they were talking about this. John Campy was talking about this today. Was who says that he can't be in both cinematic like universes or both studios? They're different studios. I mean, it doesn't mean nothing. I mean, he's got a contract with Disney to make the movies with them. He's got a contract with Warner Brothers to make movies with them. It's all right. I mean, a lot of filmmakers make films for different studios anyway, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I think it's possible. I don't think anybody really needs to fight with him, but like I said, I think it's a good thing. I mean, it keeps competition there, and but it also keeps maybe because I doubt James Gunn is going to do the same thing in a Suicide Squad movie that he's going to do in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. They're just two different movies altogether. So I think I don't think they would want, like, Warner Brothers would want to hire him to make a Guardians of the Galaxy type film. They would want him for like the Suicide Squad. It's in like the same kind of universe, but it's still different. Um, I did a video on who should replace Gunn, and Lord Miller were for sure on the top of the list. Yeah, I think Lord Miller could make that movie. Like I said, but then at that point, Disney had already let them go in the first place from making that film. So it makes me think that Lord Miller, when they were approached by Kevin Feige to if they were approached by him to make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie or even any other movie, they're probably like, yeah, I don't know about that. And plus, do they even want to have me back in the first place? So yeah, that would be a tough one. That'd be a tough one. And again, that, like I said, that comes down to our knee jerk society and the bad things going on with that. And like I said, I'm getting ready to get into some more of that. Alan Horn. Yes, Alan Horn. Okay, yeah, that's his name. And I'm sure he feels like an ass. But now there's all of a sudden sitting here saying that he was never fired and all that kind of stuff. I just don't believe that. I mean, just own up to it. Just own up to it. It's all good. Nobody's going to be any more upset now than they already have been or were. Okay, now getting back to the bad thing about the knee jerk reactions, James Gunn being rehired, and like some of the backpedaling here, a lot of this stuff. Now the next thing is when it comes to things like, okay, like I said, people made an ass of themselves. Disney made an ass of themselves. Kevin Feige's sitting here like, hey man, like, I'm just here to make a movie, man. Like, he's sitting there with his hands kind of tied, because he's the middleman. And then you got Dave Bautista who's sitting there like, okay, James Gunn's hired back now, and now I feel like an ass because I've been an ass to them, and now they probably don't want me back, and I've already said I don't want back, and I got to stand behind my own words. I don't want to back down from them, right? Because I don't want to look like an ass anyway. I already look like an ass, but many people praise me for it because I backed up James Gunn and him being fired. Okay, cool. You could have done all that without being an asshole about it. You could have, you know. And Disney and Marvel Studios probably would have been like, oh, okay, cool. You voiced your discontent, and as did everybody. A lot of people voiced their discontent. Not everybody was jerks about it, so they don't have reasons to feel like asses about it. Dave Bautista does. Now, the bad thing is about things like this is, and that's why I think the company Disney should have took a step back. Is then it's just rewarding bad behavior. Hence the babies, right? All the crybabies. And this is really just like, then they backpedal. So like Dave Bautista sitting there like inside going, yeah, that's right, man. That's right. Okay, of course. Yeah, great. Cool. They probably should have never fired him. They had a knee-jerk reaction. So did you. And now you're in a position where they probably don't want you back. And now you're sitting there, and a whole lot of other people, like when Disney gave in and they fired James Gunn, everybody's sitting there, yeah, we did it. Woohoo! All we had to do was gripe, and we got our way just from crying. And now Disney has once again backpedaled and rewarded the other side for crying. And it's do you see what I'm getting at here? It's travesty. It really is. Nobody wins in this situation. Nobody wins. I mean, we're going to win as fans because we get to see James Gunn make a new movie, but I think we would have won either way. And now the movie's just been delayed out of a bunch of people crying. So, like I said, they gave everybody what they wanted, and now nobody got what they wanted, essentially. And so, like you're back at square one, but now you're not even back at square one, you're back at square zero because you've went backward from where you were at in the first place instead of progressing forward. And that's what I'm getting at here. That's the bad thing. I mean, just if you moved on, just move on. Like I said, there's so many mixed feelings to have about these kinds of things, but that's one thing I feel about it is like the backpedaling. I mean, they're instead of just pacifying everybody in the first place, they knee-jerk reacted. Then now they're backpedaling on that, and now everybody, and now there's naturally going to be reactions to this as well. I'm sure there's people out there who are pissed off that James Gunn is back. But will we hear about it? I doubt it, because most people are probably still too busy having their knee-jerk reactions about Brie Larson's comments and Captain Marvel doing good at the box office. I don't know. Ooh, I'm getting parched here from ranting and raving. The best part of all this news is that Taika will continue on Thor after Ragnarok, and that is better series than Guardians of the Galaxy anyway. I would love to see more Thor. I would love to see more Thor, and I'm totally with you there. And it's funny, I can't remember what video was I watching it this morning. Somebody kind of echoed some sentiments I'd been having anyway, and that's about Thor dying. And I think I'm kind of there too, and I've thought about it for a while. Everybody, and who says anybody has to die for one in the Avengers movie? Who says anybody has to die? Even if they were going, even with characters, even if Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. aren't going to come back, that doesn't mean that anybody has to die. But also, I don't know what everybody's obsession is with having our heroes snuffed out anyway. But I've been kind of thinking, like, with the success of Thor and everything, it would be just, like, amazing if it was Thor that actually died, And I've kind of been sitting there thinking on it. It would be so out of left field. Like, everybody's expecting it to be, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, Thor or Iron Man and Captain America are going to die. It's going to be one of them two. We're prepared for it. We're prepared for it, are we? Aren't we? I'm not prepared for it. But anyway, it would be so out of left field if they killed Thor. Bam! Wouldn't that just get everybody? Now, however, Thor dying like I said, and here's the video I was watching. They were talking about Thor dying right off the get go, probably like at the very beginning of the movie. He probably goes to seek vengeance on Thanos after the snap and gets killed. I think that's what they were saying, something along those lines. Either way, they were talking about him dying at the beginning of the movie. I was like, ooh, yeah, that would be good. I mean, just like Loki did, just like Loki did in Infinity War. Now, I was thinking that would be pretty crazy. It would be a pretty cool idea, but he would come back. Because obviously we see everybody else that's been dusted away has come back, so wouldn't he too? I don't know. Makes you wonder, right? Because technically he wouldn't be killed by the dusting, he would have been killed by Thanos, which is the same for Vision. Vision wasn't killed by being dusted, he was killed by Thanos. Same as Loki. Loki was actually killed by Thanos, not dusted. Or was he? I still don't think that Loki's dead because I didn't feel the gravity of his death in that moment. I just seen a guy dying. You know what I mean? They didn't I felt it more when Heimdall died, like a few seconds earlier. That one I was like, oh my god, dude, like Heimdall, and then Loki does, and it's not because I was desensitized at that time or just because I was still wrapped up in that one. Is because even now watching, I'm like, there's not enough weight in that scene for me to feel that Loki really died. I mean, other than him being choked and you could see it in his eyes and everything. The weight wasn't there as much as it was like watching Heimdall die. So there's that. The best part of all this, okay, I read that. Okay, sorry. But yeah, like I said, I think at the same time, all this stuff was a bad thing. Because then again, like I said, it's rewarding somebody else. And once again, like I said, somebody else is sitting there going, yeah, we got our way, we fought and we, got things set right. But like I said, they shouldn't have ever been wronged. They shouldn't have ever been wronged. And that's kind of the bad thing with all of these things that are going on now, man. Like, just I wish everybody could just take a minute when things like this happen, because that's the new part of our society. That's why I said a lot of these companies, these studios and things like that, people need to just step back for a minute and breathe and just think about things before you have to backpedal or feel like an ass. I mean, and if you don't mind feeling like an ass and you won't feel like an ass either way, I mean, go ahead. That's cool. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Hell, I felt like an ass before, and I've put myself in that position many times. I'm okay with it. Just looking on. I feel like an ass this time, but that's that's life. But there's comes down to certain things that you shouldn't knee-jerk react to. You just shouldn't. And that's the sad thing. Like, so that's why I say, like, a lot of these companies and a lot of these places just need to start saying, okay, when they get those intense reactions from fans, from audiences, stockholders and all that stuff, like, take a step back and say, okay, whoa, maybe we just need to hit the pause button here. Especially like a company like Disney, they got investors. I guarantee you they've lost money somewhere along the way here with the firing of James Gunn and then rehiring him. Like I said, it just sends the wrong message across the board, just to everybody, to the knee-jerk reactors, to the overreactors, nobody really benefits here. Nobody's really going to benefit out of this whole situation. And yeah, like I said, I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I mean, how do you all feel about James Gunn coming back? I mean, I don't. Like I said, I'm not necessarily for it. I'm not against it. I just think, it is what it is, and that's kind of how I felt in the first place when he was fired, when all that stuff happened. I'm just like, it is what it is. There's, it's not my company. I'm not an investor in Disney. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, and like I said, I didn't really care. I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, that's just how the things are these days. Is, and I know anything that's gonna happen, there's gotta be a knee-jerk reaction to, and maybe that's just what I need to do. Maybe that's what I need to do to get more subscribers here. Is just start knee-jerk reacting to everything that happens. Maybe I should start doing trailer reaction videos like, oh my god, oh, Captain America, man. nobody does that, dude. Nobody acts like that. Come on. When I watched the Avengers trailer the other day, I was sitting there. I was sitting there like, oh, I was sitting there like that, but I'm not sitting there like, oh, come watch my video. No, like, and when somebody makes comments that are taken out of context, or I want to twist them and take them out of context myself, I just don't need to do that. I just don't feel that I need to resort to that. I've got more interesting things to talk about. And like I said, I've subscribed to a lot of channels and here on YouTube. Actually, not a lot of channels, but the handful I do, there's some that I subscribe to so I can see some of these reactions, and I try to get views from both sides. I like to keep it even at least. Hear from the people who feel this way about it and who feel this way about it. And I've managed to somehow narrow it down to just a few channels, so I don't have to follow them all. And when I hear about others, I'll just click the little video and hear about that. So, because like I said, it's nothing. I like to hear both sides, and I like to hear about these things, but I don't like to be like over saturation with them. You know what I mean? Because like I said, they're everywhere. You see them in the up next videos and all that stuff. Like, like I don't want to see. I don't need to see all this stuff. I don't need to see all this stuff. If I want all that, I can go to Facebook. You can go to Facebook and see all that. You can go to Twitter for all that. Here on YouTube, I'm trying to be entertained. But like I said, there are videos that I watch like that too. So I'm not saying that all these videos are pointless. And obviously, everybody else, there's got to be more channels doing it. It's just, I don't know. It just seems ridiculous to me. Like at least be, I don't know, because some of them, they all just sound the same. Like, be a little more creative, and you don't have to be, just because you're outraged about it doesn't mean you have to sit there and scream at the screen and turn red in the face and be yelling in the microphone. You don't have to do it, man. You don't have to, and you don't have to be a jerk about it either. You can express your opinions and be reasonable. You can come off reasonable. It's like one of the channels I started following recently. This person, they do a lot of like these controversial videos, and they're kind of a little in the middle. I mean, sometimes they're ranting and raving a little bit, but like not ever at the point like where they seem unreasonable. Now they are angry and ranting, definitely, but they don't seem like completely off the rocker. Now, their opinions I don't completely agree with, because like I said, I think about things a little more rationally. Like I said, I like to go to the source for information when I can find those things, because that's like it's like another thing. Man, I'm telling you, okay, all these, and there's been some things I've been wanting to reach out to some people, because I've been watching got a few channels that I watch here on YouTube, and there's some people I want to reach out to do, not collaborations on videos. I'm not worried about that. But including that, because we're already talking about doing some of those things, but I want to do something bigger, okay? Because I look at that website, We Got This Covered, okay? And I know I was just talking about riding the hate wave, and I'm not spreading hate for these guys, but go look at the website, We've Got This Covered, okay? And go look at their articles. Go look at what they're doing. Like, a lot of these things like, a lot of what they say and a lot of their articles are, like, complete, like, they're laughable, right? They're clickbait, okay? I'm just gonna say it. They're clickbait. There is a story, some of their stories I read, they're reading, and they list their sources on at the bottom of their articles. So when you read their articles, just scroll right to the bottom and find the source, and then just click the source, Twitter, and find the Twitter post and find out for yourself, because everything else they're saying is completely ridiculous. Just like the whole thing everybody was talking about Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige said that these trailers are only going to contain the first 20 minutes of the movie. Okay? And there's still people out there saying this and saying, "Oh, Kevin Feige said that." And they're still making these videos saying, "Oh, these clips are from the first 20 minutes. Imagine all the things going on in this movie." No, man, he never said that. Again, go to the source. I went when I kept hearing all these videos saying that, and I'm like, I seen the interview in the first place, a long, like when it first happened, but then seen all these videos, and I'm just like, ugh. So I went back to the video and got the exact quote, and Kevin Feige never said these things, but all these channels are running with it. Like I said, you can even go and I know it's a lot of people have been following this message lately, and it's something I've been saying the whole time. But like War Stew's even been on it, Den of Nerds have been on it. I actually heard one of these other clickbaity type video channels starting to pick up on it, that Kevin Feige never actually said that. An interviewer asked him a question, and he responded with a certain response. Okay, that he never said, yes, these movies only have the first 15 to 20 minutes in them, and that's all they're ever going to contain. He never said that. The interview asked him, we heard a lot about the marketing. You guys are going to do it differently, and we've heard that you guys are only going to show the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. Would you say that's somewhat accurate? And you even see Kevin Feige see, because he's a smart guy, man. He thinks about his words and their marketing and everything. He goes, I'd say that's somewhat accurate. That's not saying, yes, that is 100% correct. I'd say that's somewhat accurate. Our marketing team and blah, he goes on to praise his marketing team, which we got to all say they are doing a phenomenal job, man. I'm telling you. Has there ever been a movie that has, and there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you about that. But has there ever been a movie this much anticipated where people are just like, man, like fans and people here on YouTube and people making videos and stuff are still calling the Russos and Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios a bunch of trolls and liars because they don't want to reveal the name of their film, because they don't want to give the right answers because it could spoil something for the movie. Okay, they're not liars. They're not being dishonest. It's not their job to spoil the movie. It's not their job to give away the movie. Sure, they could just answer like, "Oh, no comment," but then then they're just gonna be pried anyway. So like whatever, and like people, I don't know. Like I said, just all those things, like things taken out of context, and I said it doesn't make Kevin Feige a liar. It doesn't make the Russos liars. They don't want to give away their movie. Okay, if that's the case, we might as well just have them, getting interviewed by an interviewer, and an interviewer says, "Hey, is it true that Tony Stark is going to die in this movie?" Just say yes. In that case, just say, "Yeah, he's going to die." Just say yes. Why? Because even if you say no, he's not going to die, and then he don't die in the movie, the people are going to be like, "Oh, wow." If you say yes and he dies in the movie, people are going to be like, "Oh, wow, okay, like, cool, you told the truth." But if you say, like, yes, he's going to die, and then he doesn't die in the movie, you were expecting him to die, so they said yes, but then he doesn't die in the movie. What are you going to say? You're going to be like, "Oh, he's a liar." You're going to be upset because Tony Stark don't die? They're liars. That's what I'm saying. It's not their job to give away the movie. It's just not. It's not good. Who would? Why would you go see the movie if they said that? Just to see the action? Oh, well, yeah. Thanos, like, they reverse most of the effects of the snap. They don't kill Thanos. Tony Stark lives. Steve goes back in time. He time travels back in time, and he's gonna go be with Peggy Carter. That's not their job, man. And then again, like I said, then this is more knee-jerk reactions out of people, out of fans, out of people making videos like, "Oh, they're liars." No, man, they're not liars. They're marketers. That's their job, marketing, making money. Why are they gonna give it away? You think they care if you call them a bunch of trolls and liars? They don't, and they shouldn't. It's not their job. It's not their job. Their job is to make movies that entertain us, and they're doing it. I don't care how much they're dishonest about their response to a reporter when they're being pried for information about the movie. I don't care about it. They should just like Samuel L. Jackson when he was saying that, "Oh, Captain Marvel, yeah, she's the only one that can time travel. She ain't time travel anything." That's what I'm saying. Samuel L. Jackson's a liar too. No, man. No. These people they're not hired to spoil the movie. They're hired to market the movie. just get it together. And again, the knee-jerk reaction from fans, oh, they're liars. Man, come on, man. Give me a break. I'm probably getting ready to wrap this up soon. I think I've about said all I've really got to say. But like I said, I do think it's a bad thing when these things just backpedal and all this stuff. Because, like I said, you rewarded these people, and now they're feeling like they didn't get rewarded. And you're rewarding these people, they're feeling good about themselves, and, you know, cause they should have never been feeling bad about themselves in the first place. It's just all bad, you know. Can't people just stop and think for a minute? I don't know, just calm down. Just calm down, you know. And what kind of example is this? You know, when people see these things, like youngsters, like, you know, more impressionable people, what do they think? What do they think when they see things like this? You know what I mean? It makes them just think, you know. And I try to tell my son especially, you know, because he's the youngest one, is, you know, you don't get what you want by crying, you know, and that's just not how it works. And then you see things like this, and the going the one way and the go backpedaling, it's just not good. It's just not good. You know, it's setting a bad example. And then, like I said, you know, you get younger people to see this, you know, because, and I'm not talking kids like my kids' age, the teenagers, you know, people who have a little more grasp on life and reality, I guess, a little more about life and reality, how things go. They see this like, oh, see, that's all we got to do is throw a little fit, and we get what we want. Oh, and then they might take it back, and then I got to throw a fit again and be upset. Nah. There's no precedent here for how to react to the old tweet phenomenon. Yeah, not really. I mean, at this point there is. You know, at this point there is. I mean, I think there's been enough of it. Now, the other thing is a lot of people got to realize that people are people, you know. Just because he did make some tasteless jokes, whatever, man. Did he go out and do any of those things that he tweeted about? Did he, you know, does that make him, you know, no. And just like, even, you know, we've seen with the presidential election, all that stuff with Trump, you know, and that still continues with all, you know, with all his ridiculous tweets and people saying like, oh, you know, just like all this stuff. And, you know, all the things he said in his past, all the things he did in his past. Well, yeah, sure. Let's just dig into everybody's past and go look at, you know, because that is obviously who they are now, you know. Nobody can change, right? Nobody can change. We can't forgive people and let them change. They're not allowed to change. People aren't allowed to change. But, you know what? I guarantee you get in the position, you're going to be asking for forgiveness. You know, it's just some of the things that, you know, seeing that's, you know, obviously I'm getting a little pissed off here just thinking about that stuff. But that's true, you know, like, that, and that's why I say people just need to slow down and think about these things. Well, then it is a bad precedent. Yes. President? I don't know. Anyway. And I'm not going there. I'm not saying we got a bad president. I'm not even going to touch on the political thing. I didn't vote for Trump. I won't bash Trump. Do I support him? Yeah, he's our president in the United States, of course. You know, I'm not an asshole. Okay, not in that way. I guess, you know, maybe I am one, but that's beside the point. That's not what we're here talking about. We're not here talking about me. But yeah, it is a bad precedent. It is a bad precedent. It's just, like I said, it's a bad thing altogether. That's why I said a lot of these people they just need to get it together, collect their thoughts when it comes to things like this. I mean, instead of just outright firing somebody, maybe have a meeting of the heads and have everybody sit down and talk about it. And then maybe when things like this happen, you know, like all the outrage over James Gunn, maybe not only they've got opinions, because they were so swayed one way by one side of the opinions, maybe they need to have a meeting of their heads, their collective heads, find out what's going on, find a good solution for it at the time. Just like, okay, let's step back and let's put this on pause for a minute, and then reach out to the audience, the people who were so outraged. Reach out to them and be like, okay, like, hey, like, what do we need to do? What would satisfy you? And to say we're not saying that we're going to we don't want to pacify you. We're not here just to pacify you, and we're not going to give you just what you want. We need to talk to you and find out, you know, kind of your expectations here. And we obviously get some of them. We do get it. But we've also got these people over here, and we're going to go talk to them and find out their thoughts and things about the situation too. And then we're going to take all these things, and then maybe we'll get together with get everybody together and we'll have a bigger conversation, and then we'll make a decision. That might take a little more time, but they probably would lose a lot less money doing something like that than just firing somebody and rehiring them. Just, just whatever. Just whatever. It's anarchy. It's anarchy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But like I said, I think that's all I really have for today. I just wanted to cover some of those things, and like I said, I don't really think Dave Bautista is a man baby. I don't. I do think that he's probably a victim. I think he's a victim of the whole knee-jerk society we've got reactionary thing we got going on in society as well. So he's kind of a victim of that too. I mean, he was kind of drug into a fight that he probably wasn't necessarily prepared for. But also, he doesn't come from a background where he's trained to deal with and handle these things anyway. A lot of people aren't, and that's why a lot of these people have agents and things like that speak for them. Like, a lot of these people don't even make their own tweets. They don't. Some of them don't even make their own posts and things like that. They have people to do that for them because these days you have to be careful. And kudos to those kind of people who do, like Zachary Levi, not too long ago, who got attacked for going out and not being against the Captain Marvel movie, and people were upset because he actually revealed a lot of his character and a lot of his personality and who he is really as a person, and he got attacked for it, and it's ridiculous. Okay, we got one last comment here from Cheermonger, and then I'm gonna sign off and we'll call it a day. People can change, but nothing changed. James Gunn is the same guy he was 8 months ago. Disney should have asked the fans instead of thinking fans would hate Gunn and acting on that presumption. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, James Gunn is the same person he was 8 months ago. Well, granted, he's probably rethought some of how he would handle the situation and maybe things he would tweet or things like that, and he'd probably sat there and thought about those little tweets and been like, oh, cool, great, man, like, come on, dude, like, really, I was in my 20s, like, you could go ask a lot of people in their 20s, once they're in their 30s and 40s and 50s, how much dumb stuff they did when they were in their 20s, that they would look back on and say, man, okay, like, that was stupid, and I'm glad I didn't live in a society and a time when people, dealt with these kinds of things, because yeah, I wouldn't like it. And then that's it's called humility. You know what I mean? Like, people, and I dealt with this a lot when I was growing up as a kid, and not only because I made an ass of myself plenty of times, but because I come from a mixed background. My heritage is a mixed background, and I always felt a certain way in society. Like, growing up, like, man, like, kind of almost really like faceless and identityless, because like, my mom, she's Mexican, and my father, a bunch of different things in her background. There's Native American, there's some German, I believe there's some Danish, and a bunch of other things. And so then I'm even more than that. And so, like, when I was growing up, it was like, okay, you're either this, like, you're this or you're that, and there really was no in between. I'm like, like, I'm not any of that, man. Like, whatever, it's the same thing with, like, how I feel about religion. I'm not a believer, but I'm not an atheist, and I'm not an agnostic. I'm not any of that. I'm just me. I believe there are things in this world that a lot of these things happen for a reason. There's cause and effects to things. Does that necessarily mean there's a higher power? I don't know. There probably is, but then again, I believe probably into some kooky things as well. Like, do I think we're alone in this universe? Hell no. There's other sentient life beings out there, other people who are smart. There's got to be. And for me to think that there's not, to me, I've always said this. It seems a little conceited for us, humans, to think, we're the only ones in this world, and I don't know. It just seems a little weird. All right, Chillmonger, have a good one. Yeah, and like I said, I think that's really about all I've got for today. Like I said, humility, man. That's one thing. It was a big thing when I was growing up, because and I used to talk to my mom about some of these kinds of things that would happen and the way I felt about things, and she'd say, she always told me, she's like, that's called humility, son. It's called humility. Just realizing that we're all human, and A lot more people should do that. A lot more people should do that ahead of time. You know, like I get, you know, and there are some instances where I believe, you know, there's maybe cause for rationality to be tossed out the window. But tweets, some tasteless tweets, isn't one of them. You know, it's not one of them, if you ask me. Uh, like I said, again, that doesn't excuse, you know, the horrible tweets or anything like that neither. But like I said, that's all I have for today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Second Street Marvel today. Now, if you haven't already, you should go back and watch the Trailer Park Live that I do every single Friday night here at 8 p.m. Rewatch the Trailer Park Live, or even my comic book pull list. I do giveaways on these, and I think I am going to start switching up some of my live feeds, and I'll probably do some more information. If you don't follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or even Instagram, you should probably do that, because I'm probably going to release some of these updates there, because, you know, I guess I could make videos about them too. I could make videos. But there are some other things that, like I said, I want to get with some of you other creators out there, because I've got some ideas of some bigger, larger scale things that I want to do. And I definitely need some help contributing to them. I've reached out to other people close to me and had no luck, basically because... I don't know. I guess some people just aren't as motivated. They don't care as much. And, you know, I care because I've already started this channel and started doing what I do. And, you know, like I said, not everybody's always going to be along for the ride. But I think there are some of you out there that I definitely want to get with for some of these larger scale things. Because I think we can do it. You know, I think we can do it. We've got, I think there's, like I said, there's a few people that I work with here that I follow here on YouTube and that follow me, that I think we could actually get something pretty good going on, and I want to do that. And like I said, it's a little bit larger scale. It's not just us sitting here on YouTube being stagnant at however many viewers we have here, however many subscribers we have here. We're gonna do something bigger scale. So like I said, go back and watch Trailer Park Live to get entered into the chance to win this Hawkman issue number 10. I did do a question on that in my comic book pull list, and even on the Trailer Park Live. But also, I am doing a giveaway. As soon as I hit 200 subscribers on this channel, I am giving away a digital copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman. So make sure you invite your friends, tell them to subscribe, leave comments in the comment section of these videos, as that is the way to get entered into the chance to win any of these prizes. Down in the description of this video are links to the Mountain Man Nut and Fruit Company. The Mountain Man Nut and Fruit Company are the purveyors of fine nuts, dried fruits, chocolates, and candies. You can follow that link and browse through hundreds of items and have them shipped directly to your door. Also, down in the description are some links for the Vigilantes for Children. Vigilantes for Children, you can follow them on their social media sites, or even go to their online store to buy shirts, hats, and just other things to accessorize to show your support for their cause. Now, as I said, I am going to do that giveaway as soon as we hit 200 subscribers, so make sure you invite your friends, make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And like I said, while you're at it, make sure you share this video with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on 2nd Street. Have a great day.